Hey everybody. You know, you can see the title up there. I want to talk about who I feel the 8 aces or the ace and eights could be in TNA. Now, the first time we saw them was only like 3 guys beating on Sting and sent Sting out storyline wise to heel. Uh, then this past Thursday, we saw somebody come out and hand Hogan a yellow envelope during interrupt a meeting basically backstage, or an interview backstage. Hand Hogan an envelope saying we're not cowards. Hogan opens it up. Basically, he's asking everybody else to go make sure this guy doesn't leave. And again, Hogan opens up the yellow envelope, and what's inside but a letter with eights, with the playing cards of eights and aces. And it says, "See you next week." Now, pretty much everybody has given their opinion, including the Schleg Daddy over the Off the Rope show. I'm pretty sure that the British Fist have given their opinion. I'm pretty sure that Dads on Wrestling, the Renegades of Wrestling, have given their opinion. No DQ, the Wrestling Gurus, you name it. And even I've given my opinion. I mean, I said on my review, I feel it could consist basically of 3 individuals. Now, it may not be all 3, but it could, you never know. I mean, one, obviously, is what Schleg Daddy and everybody else, including myself, feel could be one of the main members, and that's Jeff Jarrett. Now, you might ask yourself, why would they want to put Jeff Jarrett in this category? Well, think about it. Jeff Jarrett's the founder of the company. Storyline-wise, he wants to he'd probably want to gain control again, right? Storyline-wise, he'd want to get control of his company again. But also, he'd want to get at Sting because maybe he feels he should have been in the Hall of Fame first instead of Sting. Another member, as I said, could be EB. And if you don't know who EB is, it's Eric Bischoff. And think of it this way. What a way for Bischoff to kind of make a return. Basically saying, hey, look, I told you I'd be back, and I'm not going to stop until I own this company. So there you go. Bischoff could have a group along with Jarrett maybe and try to take over the company. And then you could also have Joey Ryan be part of this. Joey Ryan could be coming in and saying, look, I told you I was going to bring some guys in. I told you we were going to make noise, and we're not going to stop until you give me and my friends a contract. Give us contracts to be part of this company. You know, and it could be that. You could also have some people we haven't seen in TNA yet, like Harry Smith. You could have people like, you know, like maybe Chavo, or maybe that India dude, that big Indian dude, guy from India, that big, I can't think of his name right now, that held the Raka King World title before they went on break. You know, you could have maybe a John Morrison be a part of it. Who knows? My point is, you know, and even maybe a Chris Masters, but again, my point is, we don't really know who the 8 aces could be, but we could have an idea. Now, you know, I'm pretty sure there would be a lot of people that wouldn't be happy at the fact that it could be Jeff Jarrett. You know, because just like, say, Jeff Siegel, the Schleg Daddy, you know, they don't like the idea that TNA would just would go to all this trouble just to bring Jarrett back, what, in time for Battle for Glory, didn't have him leave again. That is true. That is true. But then again, if you're a true TNA mark, and you favor TNA over any other wrestling promotion, then you pretty much feel that that TNA needs to do it. That they need to bring Jeff Jarrett back in because they didn't have him at Bound for Glory. I mean, not Bound for Glory, but they didn't have him at Slammiversary. So to bring Jeff back in, even if it's to go to all this trouble with the 8 aces concept, in time for Bound for Glory, then so be it. You know, and if you have to make it, if you have to make part of the concept about, you know, and if TNA has to make part of the concept about Jeff Jarrett being angry at the fact that instead of him being the first in the Hall of Fame, it's Sting. then that's what you got to do, whether you like it or not. But we don't know yet. And again, Eric Bischoff could be another possibility. Because when you think about it, Eric Bischoff, still wants control. He still wants power. And what better way to try to get power than to associate with a new group of people, or at least some that want that same kind of power. And again, you got to throw someone like a Joey Ryan into the mix, who would want to have his contract and is going to do whatever it takes to get it. So you never know, and it could be people within TNA. It could be maybe Daniels and Kazarian could also be part of it. I mean, think of it this way. Daniels and Kazarian, mostly Daniels, started this whole situation with AJ that was built for, I guess, over a year, out of jealousy or whatever. Think of it this way. What better way for them to really get established as a team than to say, hey, look, we've been associated with these 8 Aces guys the whole time. Because the ringleader is Jeff Jarrett, and because the ringleaders are Jeff Jarrett and Eric Bischoff. Think about it. What better way for them to really come out and say, this is why we did it, and kind of explain, and maybe if, let's say, someone like a Bischoff or a Jarrett's a part of the group and the ringleaders, have them come out and say, yeah, we're the ones that told Daniels to say this kind of stuff because we wanted to get even. Now, I'm not saying they would go through all that trouble. I'm just saying it would make some kind of sense. But then again, we don't know who these 8 Aces are and why they're here. But again, there's a lot of fans. Myself, the Schleg Daddy right there, and anybody else, the British Fist right here. Brad Rules right there. Anybody else that would probably agree it's gotta be them. It's gotta be at least the 3 that I talked about, or at least 2 out of the 3, along with some other people. But that's why I feel it could be. And the reason, like I said, it could be any of the reasons. It could be maybe because Jarrett, wants control of his company back, and maybe he is angry at the fact that instead of him being inducted first into the TNA Hall of Fame, it was Sting. And he's the founder, so he should be the first, right? And storyline wise, I know people may not like that idea, but if that's the direction TNA wants to go, that's the direction TNA is going to go. And then again, like I said, you got Eric Bischoff, who also could be part of it, like saying, hey, look, I got this whole group of guys that's going to wreak havoc unless I'm given control again, unless I'm given power. And then, of course, you got Joey Ryan, who's basically being portrayed as an outsider, and is like, hey, look, I want my contract. I know I got the personality. These people know it, and they want me here just as much as anybody else. So, again, I don't know who it could be. Pretty much no one really does. But again, pretty much a lot of people have an idea as to who it might be. Schleg Daddy Jeff Siegel, he said it best the first, a couple weeks ago when these guys first appeared. He basically pointed out that if one of them is Jeff Jarrett, that the time frame for Jeff's return is right smack now, if you know what I mean. It's basically right around the correct time frame for Jeff to make a return, for Jarrett to make a return, because it's been 6, 7 months, 8 months, so he's bound to come back in time, maybe for Bound for Glory. And and when you think about the fact that TNA comes out, well, at least not TNA, but reports online come out that TNA wants to hold off some kind of culmination and climax until at least Bound for Glory with Sting and whoever these 8 Aces are and whoever the ringleaders are, then so be it. So be it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, hell, it could be somebody within the company. It could be somebody within the company again. I mean, think about it this way. It could be Bischoff, but it could be a different kind of Bischoff. And that would be something that would shock Schleg Daddy. He'd be like, oh shit, they actually did the impossible with Eric's son. But again, we don't know. Right now, the top suspects, in my opinion, the top three are Jarrett, Bischoff, and Ryan. That's how I feel. Now, you may not like what I have to say about that. When I mention that, you may not agree with what I'm saying anyway. But I feel that could be it. And you know what? When you think about it, they could also be associated with Bobby Roode. Think about it that way. Bobby Roode brings in these 8 aces, beats up on Sting, wants to take people out so he can gain control of the company. You never know. But again, I believe the top 3 suspects, or at least who I feel could be the top 3 members, are Jarrett, Bischoff, and Ryan, and whoever else they have associated. But we'll never really know. Oh, until next week, or at least we get some kind of clue or hint next week as to who it could be. I mean, I'll give TNA credit. They're doing what they can to really build towards Bound for Glory. I mean, they got the BFG series going. It looks like they're trying to build and make Storm versus possibly Roode into a monster, even if Roode's going to be in his second reign as champion, if that happens. You know, they're doing what they can to build towards it. But will they follow through on this whole situation with the 8 aces? Again, though, that is just my opinion on who I believe, who I think, and as it says right there, who I think the 8 aces are, who I think they are. I believe the top 3, like I said, could be Jarrett, Bischoff, and Ryan. But that's just me. Let me know what you guys think. Video response if you like, and I'll talk to you later.